Hey guys, West Coast Picks here, and today we're going to make, from start to finish, a pocket pick, also formerly known as slick pick. This is going to be version 3, and this one's going to be made for this fish tape that I got lots of for really cheap. It's really good stuff. It's .225 or .0225, so 22.5 thousandths. Anyway, so what we need to do is measure everything up first, and this will save a lot of time in the long run. Measure everything up and figure it out. So I'm going to get my caliper out here. Let's get everything ready. Alright. So the first thing we're going to measure is the body. This is going to be the body of the pick itself, and I know from experience this is 80 millimeter, 80 mil. So it's 80 by 12. Peterson is 12.2 or 12.3 or something like that, but mine, I always make 12.3, yeah, but I'll make mine 12 by 12 by, I make mine 5. Peterson's I think is 4.4, yeah. But I make mine by 5. This is all millimeter. And then we're going to go to the tension wrench. And anything that slides in and out of your handle is you're gonna want to oversize. So it says 2.5 mil. We're going to round that up to 3 mil. So it's going to be 3 by, that's 0.9 mil. Squeeze it down to 0.8, so we'll call that 1 mil. 3 by 1 millimeter. And then the track, let's figure out the track. Well, let's do the insert first, actually. So our insert is our fish tape, 4.7. So of course round that up to 5 by 0.6, around that up to 1, and the length doesn't matter so much. We'll figure that out after. The lanyard hole, I just know from experience I want 1.5 millimeter lanyard hole, and that's from the center, so that'll end up being a 3 millimeter hole, which is what these ones have in them. So, and then they work out to be a good size. And now our track, which is going to be the hardest part to work out. What I like to do is hold your pick like you normally hold it when you're picking a lock, say. So you're in there, and you know, however you normally hold your pick. Say I normally hold it about like that. So my thumb is about 10 millimeter back from the tip. So that's going to be the stop point for the button. So our button is going to stop probably about there, is where the center of our button is going to be. So we're talking 15 mil back, and then we have a just a 45 mil pick when it's fully extended, because some of these are Bogotas and everything, so they're a little tiny bit longer. We'll say 45 mil plus the 15 will give us 60 mil is how long our actual insert is going to be. But you can take that 15 off of travel, so the actual only travel you need is whatever this pick is going to be, 45 mil. We'll make it a little bit longer. We'll call it 50 mil of travel. So our track is going to be 50 by 2 millimeter, which is the width of the track. And then my offset, which means how far I'm going to go from the top, is going to be offset of 15 mil. Alright, so we got all these numbers. I'm going to fire up Autodesk 123D Design, You guys can download it for free online. Go do that if you want to follow along, build your own. You don't even need a 3D printer if you guys want to make these. I'll show you how. Anyway, go download 123D Design, and I will see you guys there. Alright guys, we're in Autodesk 123D Design now, and we're going to get started. Now, first off, everything in this program, well, you're not going to be able to see all the when I click on menus and everything up here, so I'm going to describe it the best I can. So when I say, combine, subtract, that means I've gone to the menu combine and gone to the option subtract. Or other places I'll use hotkeys and stuff, and I'll tell you about that. So there are some menus that you won't see, but you'll see the main creation actually happen and how it works, and I'll do my best to describe that. And also the main reason we made all the measurements ahead of time is so we don't have to do it now. Everything in here is going to be a shape. So first thing we're going to do is lay out all of our shapes, and it's going to help things go quickly. So the first thing we're going to do is build our body, and we already know the shape, the size of all these things. So we have our body is 80 by 12, and I'm typing them in a box here you can't see, but when it comes time to do it, you'll know what I mean. So I type in the dimensions 80 by 12 by 5, and I place it down. You can resize it after by clicking on it and clicking the Smart Scale option, but it's better to do it when you create it. So there's our body. Let's make another box for our tension wrench, which we know is 3 millimeters. This is length, sorry. So we're going to make this the same length as the pick because it's going to stick out of it, so the length doesn't matter. Same as the pick insert. The width we know is 1 millimeter that we've measured, and our height is 3 millimeters. So this is our insert. And then our next shape is going to be that was our tension wrench. The next shape is going to be our insert, which we know can also make 80 millimeter long because it's going to stick out, and it doesn't really matter. The width we know is 5 mil, and our depth is 1 mil, and that is our insert. And the next thing we have to make is, let's make a lanyard hole. So the default is 10. We don't want a 10, we want 1.5, which will give us a radius of 3 in the end. So I want 1.5. I think so. Let me quickly remeasure the hole here. One of my other ones. Yeah, it's 3 mil. So 1.5 is right. It just looks small for some reason here, but anyway, that is our lanyard hole, or will be our lanyard hole. And what do we have left? We have our track. So let's make our track, which is another square, another box. We know our track is 50 long. We know our track is 2 wide. Oops, wrong box here. 2 wide, and the height and depth don't really matter. We'll just make it 10 just for the hell of it, because the way we subtract it out. So there is all of our shapes. The one thing I forgot to measure when we were back taking our measurements is the button for the slider. So I know that it's an 8 mil button, so which 4 mil radius, that's going to be our button. Anyway, now we have all our pieces. Let's work on getting it all together. This is the main body. First thing we have to do is contour it. quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is a shortcut. You can go up into the menus. The first time you find it, you go to menus. Up in the menus, you'll see modify, and then you'll go down to fillet. And E is the shortcut. So if you hit E, or you click on fillet in the menu, you click any one of these corners. So we'll do all the corners first. And you can either move them in with the mouse, or you can type in a value. I'm going to type in a value of 3. And I'm going to do that for all these corners. So I'm just hitting E to make it really quick. Type in 3 in the box for the value. Makes it go a lot quicker than going through the menus and trying to slide the proper value and everything. Alright, so we have a little bit of contour there, but it's not enough. We want more. So we're going to hit E again. We're going to select this top ridge. We're going to drop it in 1. And that just breaks the edge a little bit, makes it look nice. We're going to do the same thing to the bottom. E, select the edge, fillet it in 1, and there we go. So that's starting to look pretty good for the body of the lockpick here. Next thing we're going to do is drop in a lanyard hole. So let's take our lanyard we created, and we're going to put it in as close to center as possible. That looks pretty good. The snapping on this program is actually pretty good. You don't pay for this program, and it's pretty damn good. I mean, that snaps too pretty well. I do kind of like that placement. We will leave that there for now and not cut it out yet. So next we are going to do our insert, the actual pick insert itself. We'll move it over here, and let's see, I'm just going to move it around, try to get it right in the center. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it looks pretty damn close to center to me. Yeah. Looks like it could go a tiny bit one way or the other here. Back out. Because it snaps really well. Often all you have to do is grab it and move it back, and it'll snap as it did right to the center. So perfect. That is the insert, and of course we don't want it to go all the way back like that. This is an 80mm insert. Remember, it only has to be like 60, 65 or something. But we want as much plastic in there as possible, so move it out a bit, at least there. Alright, so we're also not going to void this out yet either. We want to make sure everything's placed right. Sorry, the orientation gets all messed up here sometimes. Alright. And then we are going to tension wrench, and depending on what side you want it on, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. What did I put on the last time? Yeah, I put it on the right hand side here, so I'll do that again. Our tension wrench is on the right hand side. I like how the orientation of this thing gets all messed up all the time. I think it'd be... Come on. Huh. Anyway. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to try to center this. Obviously not working that way. Try to get it this way. this thing out, so we don't want it that deep. Probably gonna go to about, we'll leave like 10 mil in there at the end. Move it in a touch, just so it has some meat there. See how that looks. It's going to come up. There we go. Looks like it can go over a little bit more towards the edge. Probably about like that. So that looks pretty good for the tension wrench. Of course, I'm not going to delete it yet. Now we're going to get the track in there. Actually, we'll leave the track till after we've removed all this stuff. We just want to make sure that none of this stuff is overlapping. And it's not. It looks pretty good so far. These are pretty close. I mean, they're pretty close. I might want to maybe move the track over, or the insert over a little bit to one side, just to try to get a little bit of that room back, because that looks kind of close. Question is it too close? That's a millimeter. It's about a millimeter away. Yeah, a millimeter's not bad. I'll take a millimeter. Anyway, so it's looking good. We're going to just start subtracting all this stuff, guys. Up in the menu, you'll find an area that says combine. So the menu is called combine, and under there's an option called subtract. And you always start with the object you're going to be keeping, and then end with the object that you want to remove from it. So we're going to do the insert first. So start with the body, then click on the insert, hit enter, and as you see, we have a nice void. Then we are going to do the tension wrench. Same thing. We're going to go up to the menu, combine, subtract, select our body, select the tension wrench, enter. And now we have a hole for our tension wrench. Same thing for our lanyard hole. We're going to combine, subtract, select our body, select cylinder, enter. There we go. And for this lanyard hole, we're just going to feather it a little bit here. Actually, I don't know if I like that. I might put it in a bit more before I delete it. I'm going to move it over a bit, guys. That looks better. Just a little bit more meat there. That's too far. Yeah, that's probably good. Okay, let's do that again. Let's subtract it. One from the other. Alright. And we're just going to hit E again and fillet that edge. Just give it a 1. Do the same to the back side. E, fillet the edge. 1. There we go. So we have our tension wrench hole, our lanyard hole, our insert hole. Time to drop the track down. So this is one of the more important parts. You definitely don't want to screw it up, because this is how the whole thing works pretty much. So remember, our offset is 15. We want to be 15 mil from the end, which is about there. not quite centered. Do that. Alright. And with our 15 mil offset, it can go up a little bit more. Over there. And I think that is where our track is going to be. We just want to make sure that it's in, but not all the way through, which it is. So we will the one thing I don't like about this program is the control. It's not very good. Like the moving angles and stuff like that. I've used other CAD programs, 3D rendering programs and stuff. A lot of them are better, but what do you want? It's free. So anyway, that looks like where our track is going to be. And we basically just do the same thing. We go subtract. Boom. So that is our SlickPick version 3. You guys could have used any of your own dimensions, come up with the same thing. The button itself, well, let's make the button really quick. How tall do you want a button really? I'd say 2 millimeter. So let's resize this button. $2 mil. Alright. Resize is good. And then we're going to drop it down to the ground. Go. And then we are going to fillet the edge. Probably one. One should be good. Let's see what 2 looks like. We go 1.5. Yeah, we'll take 1.5. And then we actually need a hole in there that's the same size as our track, which is, well, I'll say 2 mil. And then the material itself, which this fish tape is only half a mil, so 0.5. That is going to be inside of our button. Make sure that it's actually in there for when we cut it out. And then do our subtract. Now we have our button. Alright guys, so this is all ready to go. Depending on the printer that I choose, you might not be able to do those 2 mil buttons, and that's fine. I might have to up them to 3 mil or whatever, but that is it. From here, you can go off to the side. You can't see it in the menus, but off in the side menus, you can go to save copy to my computer. So you'll want to do that, but also there's an option to 3D print and order online. And when you do that, there's a service in there called 3D Hub, and you can actually order online from a person near you. You can choose from a whole list of people that are actually right in your area, and pay by PayPal over the website, and go pick it up in person from the guy himself. And you can pick one that's the one I go to is like 3 miles away from my house. It's really close. And I get them printed out for like about $1 a pick. It's pretty good. Anyway, guys, that is how I do it. Have a good one, and try not to break any laws.